Hello guys, my name is Gabriel Roberts from Roberts Bushcraft. Today I'm going to be showing you my BK-11. This thing is awesome. It's my favorite neck knife. I had one a while back and traded it with my brother, and I decided that I wanted to pick one up again because I found myself just missing it. Now I've done some really cool modifications to this one. Let's take a look. So the BK-11 has an overall blade length. Has an overall length of 6 3/4 inches. Has a blade length of 3 1/4. So a very small knife, but a very handy knife. Now you can see I've added some micarta scales to mine that I've just gone over with some boot polish and a little bit of wax just to seal them off. I've also added a piece of paracord down here at the bottom to help me keep a good hold of the knife. I can just slip that right through, and there you go. Now another thing that I've added there on the spine, I've just gone over with a file, polished it up, and that allows me to be able to strike a ferro rod. So that's all the modifications that I've done to the blade itself, or to the knife itself. Now where things really get interesting is here with this sheath. Now of course, to begin with, I added on a lanyard, just straight paracord here. So basically, if I were to trip and this goes through a tree branch or something, it's not going to choke me out and completely kill me. It'll snap off. That's exactly what I want it to do. And of course, I've just dressed it up here with some paracord along the edges. Down at the bottom, I've got a stick of fatwood that I've trimmed up and tied on, and basically this works. So if I ever just had to create some shavings, I've always got fatwood there to do it with. And hey, let's be honest, it just looks cool having that down there. So really the main player here on this neck knife is this pouch. Now this thing is really cool. Sewed it up myself. There were a couple of things that I wanted to accomplish when sewing up this pouch. I wanted this thing to be able to be taken on and off of the sheath itself extremely quickly. So let's say I wanted to run this thing slick, just the plastic itself, I could do that with ease. And as you can see, what I've done there is I've just sewn some Velcro onto the pouch itself, and that makes it to where I can just take that right off. And now I can run this knife slick. Don't have to have that pouch on if I don't want it. Still got some paracord around there. And of course, paracord coming on the top here. This is actually part of the lanyard. You can see I've got that attached there. It basically just does a big loop. See, it comes all the way around, back on top, through, up into the lanyard. And that dual purpose, I didn't have to cut any of that paracord, and it provides a great little spot for these pieces of Velcro to go under. So it keeps it from shifting side to side and, twisting all around while it's on my neck. It also creates a perfect platform to where I can run this thing on my belt. So there are a few things that I have to do to this knife, to the sheath rather, before I can actually run it on my belt. Now first off, I have to take this pouch off and actually flip it over the other way, because these are my belt loops right here. So I've got to take this pouch now and put it on backwards. And this was just another part in the designing process for this thing. I wanted to be able to run it on my belt as well, because you just simply never know what you might get caught into. What I'm probably going to do, I'll just undo it and then tuck it around there, and then run the excess straps back up through the belt loop here. Yep, I like that pretty good. And then bring it back around to the front and just keep it wrapped up. And there you go. And that's kind of the simple way just to get it out of the way for the time being. And now it simply goes onto the belt through these loops. Here that would actually be at the front of the knife. Since I flipped the pouch around though, it's actually at the back. Onto the belt it goes. As you can see, that is nice and secure. That's not going anywhere. And I can still draw it just fine. Works out great. Keeps it out of the way. Now of course if I were to go get something out of the pouch, I would just put that down a little bit. But overall, I'm fairly happy with how it's able to be run on a belt like this. As you can see, just starting from the front here, down to the... As you can see, I mean, it's not, you know, very big and bulky and all that. It actually stays nice and out of the way. I like that, and it's not, you know, probing you in the side the whole time while you're, you know, walking around. Stays out of the way. Do some bushcrafting task. You got it right there. And that's it. And that's really neat in my opinion. I can just, you know, slap that on really quick. I like that a lot. Inside of this pouch, I've just got a ferro rod. Small ferro rod because it didn't have a lot of room left in this pouch. Also got a miniature fishing kit. A little bit of line, some different lures in there. Got a few band-aids. Really these need to be the waterproof kind, just in case this thing ever got wet. Just some band-aids for the time being. And along with that fire making kind of theme we have going here, just got one of those fire starters from Bigfoot Bushcraft. Really like these things, and the fact that it's waterproof is really neat, and you get a great burn time out of these things. So that's all for inside of this pouch. Again, I wanted to keep this nice and compact, and I really wanted to have that functionality where I could just take this thing right off. As well as, you know, you've got options, and that's what I like. So there you have it. Those are all the modifications that I've done to my Becker BK-11. Just for comparison's sake, I'm going to show you Dad's BK-11. Now, he's got on his blade, now just to give you a comparison here, Dad has used his blade a lot. Sharpened it many times, and it's going to be kind of hard to show here on camera. But you can actually tell just from how much he's used this thing that the blade is actually smaller than this somewhat recently purchased BK-11 here. Now, of course, the main difference here, Dad stripped his coating off, and he wanted me to tell you, do not do that. It's tempting because you see all the, you know, bushcraft guys on YouTube. Hey, it looks cool, but honestly, it's just not the way to go. Unless your coating is just completely, you know, almost to the point where it's completely gone anyway, there's really no reason to remove that great coating that comes from the factory with these K-bars just to, you know, put a patina on it.
And the reason, a lot of the reason in the beginning was the accepted opinion was that this coating is rough and it's textured, and then it caused a lot of friction between the coating and whatever material you're cutting. And I found through use that that's, in my opinion, not enough of a reason to take that coating off. Does it cause some friction? Sure. But was it worth taking it off, stripping it down to this? In my opinion, no. With this bare metal like that, you really have to baby it. It will develop a natural patina over time, but if I had to do it all over again, I'd leave that coating on there, because underneath those scales, it'll rust out pretty quick. So, bottom line, use your knife. Take care of your knife.
Inside of his pouch, he's got a ferro rod, a fishing kit, and a fire starter from Bigfoot Bushcraft as well. So you're beginning to see where I've gotten a lot of my inspiration from for my kit. Now, the main difference between the pouches on mine and Dad's pouch is a little bit bigger, but his is tied into the paracord, as you can see there. He also keeps a piece of fatwood down at the bottom of his neck knife, as well as he just dressed it up with some paracord down here at the bottom of his lanyard. At the top of his lanyard, he's got this small buckle, and both of the buckles here accomplish the same purpose, and that is, like I mentioned earlier, if this were to get snagged on a branch or something while you have this on your neck, it's not just going to completely choke you out and kill you. It would obviously pop open. That's exactly what you want. So overall, very happy with the little knife that I put together. This kit, I do like the ability to be able to run it slick like that, because like I mentioned, I do like options, and that's just neat to me. Dad has always enjoyed his kit as well. As you'll notice on many videos, this thing is his companion, stays with him all the time. And like I mentioned, you go back and watch any number of our older videos, and you'll see this thing is close by Dad's side. So overall, I've got to say, these knives are very handy. Oh, they've also got a bottle opener down at the bottom, which you can also use as a wire cutter.
Here's what the knife looks like without the scales. Pretty easy to put on. Here are the scales here. This is the original color. Gabriel kind of darkened his up. A little polish, some oil. Turned out pretty good. But these are very easy to put on, and we highly recommend these because it makes using the knife so much more comfortable. And it adds virtually no weight. And they are held on by these.
Very handy little knife. Great tool to have. So I'd like to thank you for watching the review of my Becker BK-11 neck knife. You know, it's just a very handy tool to have. And you know, it's perfect. When you need a knife, it's there right around your neck. especially when you're running like me and Dad are. You got a pouch full of accessories that complement the blade very well. Really like the micarta scales. All the mods that I've done to this thing, I really like. So thank you for liking. Please drop a comment down below. Please share this video. Click the applaud button if it's on your heart. As always, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. And God bless.